Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel Sweet Art Crafts. In this video I'm going to show you guys how I made these dried flowers that I'm preparing for resin using silica gel. This is only my second time drying flowers, so I'm probably not the best at them, but I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys my whole process. Here are the supplies that you're going to need, and I also suggest wearing gloves because this stuff is very grainy, so it can easily go underneath your fingernails and get stuck there. And I also suggest wearing a mask. You don't necessarily need the mask that I have, but a dust mask will be fine since this stuff is very dusty. Here is the silica gel that I'm using for this tutorial, and it is by the brand Activa. Here I'm just showing you guys how the silica gel looks like, and as you can see it's very grainy and looks very powdery. And I'm also going to be showing you guys this list of different flowers and the drying time. The flowers that I used were not on this list, so I did have to kind of wing it with the drying time, and I'm going to be doing the conventional way, so just by drying for a few days instead of in the microwave, because I have tried it in the microwave before and it smells very weird. Here are the first set of flowers that I will be prepping for drying. So what I'm going to do is just cut off the stems of the flowers, and I'm going to try to make sure I cut as close as I can to the base of the flower. I'm going to try to leave the names of the flowers that I used in the description box below. I just don't want to say the names because I know I'm going to butcher them, and I'm just going to repeat this process of cutting the flowers as close as I can to the base on the rest of the flowers. So after I finish cutting the flower stems off, I'm going to just lightly add some pressure and press the flowers a little bit just to kind of stretch them out, since some of the flowers were kind of bent in a weird way, and I just want to have them nice and flat so that when I add the silica gel, it kind of just flattens out the flowers very nicely for when I have to add them to resin. I don't want them doing anything weird. These are the next set of flowers that I will be drying, and I'm just going to be repeating the same exact process as I did for the first set of flowers. So with these flowers, I noticed that some of the petals were a little dead looking, so what I did was pluck at the petals that I didn't want, just because when you're drying the flowers you want to make sure you have the best versions of the flowers, because when they're dried you kind of will see the dead flowers in them, and just want to make sure that they look as pretty as possible. Here are the next set of flowers that I will be drying, and for these flowers I did kind of mess up later on in the video because I feel like I should have let them dry for only 2 days, and I went on for the full 4 days with the other flowers. So if you plan on drying these specific type of flowers, I would only suggest 2 days and they should be completely dry. And the last set of flowers that I will be drying are these ones. Now, using a dishwashing pan that I got at Dollar Tree, I'm going to start pouring some of the silica gel into the pan. You want to make sure that you have a good first layer at the bottom so that when the flowers are drying, it dries the back of them. Now I'm going to start adding the flowers into the container, and I'm going to make sure that I spread them out so that they're not on top of each other, and that they get enough space so that when they're drying, they dry completely, because you don't want to make your flowers dry unevenly, and then it's going to take longer for your flowers to dry. So I'm showing this part in real time, but you can see I'm very slowly adding the silica gel onto the top of the flowers, because I want to make sure that the silica gel gets into every nook and cranny of the flowers so that they can dry evenly and in a good timing. So that is why I'm doing it very slowly before I add all of the rest of the silica gel on top. If you guys want really in-depth drying flower videos, please check out Artsy Mad Woman here on YouTube. I'll make sure to link her YouTube channel in the description box below. She has a lot of very helpful and informative flower drying videos, so I'd suggest you guys check her out. So once I feel like I covered the flowers enough, I'm going to just start pouring the silica gel on top of it. And I'm going to pour a nice layer so that the flowers dry properly, because if you don't use enough silica gel, you have to either wait longer for the flowers to dry, or they probably won't even dry that well. So you want to make sure you put enough. Now I'm going to get started on my next set of flowers and adding them in to dry, and I'm going to just be repeating the same process as before. I did run out of silica gel, so that's why the silica looks a little bit different before I added on the top layer. I did have to use 3 bags of silica gel just to dry all of these flowers. And the good thing about silica gel, you can reuse it. After I let the flowers dry for 4 days, I'm going to start taking them out, and you guys can see how in real time how gently I grab at the silica gel and try to pluck the flowers out. I remembered where I placed the flowers, so that's why I'm just like shoveling in certain areas. That's why it's very good to kind of memorize, because you don't want to shovel in a wrong spot and then the flowers will kind of break off the petals, and that has happened to me with a couple of the flowers, which could also mean that some of the flowers did dry a little bit too long, but for the majority of the flowers they dried perfectly in the timing. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it was helpful in any way for drying flowers. I just prefer using the silica gel method since it's pretty simple and it doesn't take as long as some other methods that I've seen, and it doesn't smell like the microwave method, which is why I just do not like doing that way. But don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and share this video with your friends, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye now.